Hello again. The other day, when I showed a photograph of people belonging to visible minorities who are queuing up to leave Ukraine, one or two people denounced me as a racist in the comments here, claiming that these were foreign students who had been studying in Ukraine and being caught up there by the outbreak of war. In the thumbnail to this video, you can see a man and his son on the platform at Kiev's railway station. To his right can be seen another black person. This man is not a student at all. He is one of the many people from Africa and Asia who seem to be passing through Ukraine on their way west. Let's face it, how many students going abroad to study are grown men with their children? Something does not add up here. My suspicion is that these are some of the immigrants who Belarus imported and then sent across the borders to try and destabilise neighbouring countries. I am not the only one to suspect that when Britain starts accepting refugees from Ukraine, quite a few of them will look like this. In this way, the war in Ukraine ties in perfectly with the increasing problem of immigration to Western Europe. For those who think that I am a racist, I must ask, who do you think this man is? Look at the picture in the thumbnail to this video. What do you think? Is he Ukrainian? If he is, then why isn't he volunteering to fight for his country? Is he a student? He doesn't look like a teenager, he looks like a grown man. And as I say, how many students actually take their children with them when they go to study in a foreign country? Or is he perhaps just one of the millions of people who are gradually making their way towards the English Channel, stopping off at various countries as and when this proves possible, all the time making their way ultimately towards the beaches near Calais so that they can get into Britain? I need hardly tell viewers that foreign students are a recognised way of illegal immigrants entering European countries. Britain has suffered from this for years, with bogus institutions obtaining visas for Africans on the pretext that they will be studying for a year and then returning to their own countries. They generally vanish once they are in this country. This is quite an industry in London in particular, with colleges springing up. They don't have any real existence. They're really just phantoms, just paper. They exist on paper. They provide all the paperwork to the Home Office. They charge a very large fee to the people in Africa and Asia for whom they obtain visas. The Home Office periodically cracks down on this scam, but it's nevertheless still flourishing. And it doesn't just flourish in this country either. It's in a lot of European countries. It's a way for people from Africa and Asia to get their foot in the door in Europe. Are these African and Asian students in Ukraine speaking Ukrainian in their studies? What are they supposedly studying? Just to help clarify matters, in the description to this video I post a clip from Twitter, which is from an account belonging to an African. It shows a film of a bunch of angry black Africans trying to cross the border from Ukraine into Poland and experiencing difficulty. These do not appear to be teenagers, not students as we think of them as, but grown men who are clearly unable to speak Ukrainian or Polish. Something very rummy is going on here, I fancy. As usual, the mainstream media doesn't seem to be noticing any of this. As the war between Russia and Ukraine intensifies, we are seeing some very odd things like this, but nobody else seems to want to talk about it. Many of these refugees belong to visible minorities, but nobody apparently wishes to ask who they are and where they come from. This kind of thing irritates me a little. I always want to know about the very things that other people choose to ignore. There is no doubt that some countries do have an interest in weaponising refugees. Belarus certainly did so last year when they were flying as many people from the Middle East as they could into their country and then shoving them across the border into Poland. This is a tactic designed to make life difficult for European countries. Erdogan, the Turkish leader, has done the same with Syrian refugees, sending them in this direction as well. We are witnessing what could become one of the largest humanitarian crises on the European continent in many, many years. The needs are growing as we speak, said Janez Janicic, European Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Management, who I quote above. So far, the humanitarian situation overall, the currently expected number of displaced Ukrainians, is over 7 million, he told a news conference in Brussels after a special meeting of EU member states' interior ministers to discuss the crisis. You will see how the numbers are rising day by day. Last week we were told that there might be 5 million refugees. This week it's 7 million. I don't know how many it's going to be next week, but I'm strongly suspecting that a very large proportion of those people are going to come to Britain.